What is up, everybody? Happy Tuesday to you. And I have to say hello again because I did a short earlier. Uh, but this is the longer form video. I want to talk about Kevin McCarthy for a second. So if you caught my New Year's Eve or my New Year's video, I did the very first video that I did for 2023. I was just laughing at the fact that, the Republicans and the Democrats made Kevin McCarthy go through the motions to become Speaker of the House. I mean, he went through 10 rounds, which was historic in itself. And, it was like, man, it's like that dude had to crawl and beg. I mean, I was joking about that. Like, you're going to have to crawl and beg. And he must have crawled and begged because he became the Speaker of the House. But dang, they were not playing. Whoever he made deals with, they were not playing with him. They were not playing with him. They were like, we are not playing ball with any of this. We are $35 trillion in debt. We are inflating our dollars. We're really presenting a hardship to, lower income people, fixed income people. This isn't right. And I think that, there are some Republicans in the House that have a backbone, but Kevin McCarthy was not one of them. And like I said before, in that video around New Year, that, Kevin McCarthy is a politician. He's a California pretty boy, right? So this dude is in it for the glory. He wants to be in front of the cameras. He want to be that guy. You know what I mean? And he's going to play ball with whoever's going to profit him the most. Because like everybody says, you go to Washington and get rich. You don't go to Washington to serve people. That's the disguise. That's the mask, that some of these Democrats are so obsessed with. The mask is really metaphoric, for, I have a self-interest and I'm a glory whore at the end of the day. That's how I see most of these politicians. And that's why most honest-hearted people that really should want to run for office, typically we don't. We don't want to be in that jungle of Satanists, because that's basically what it is. If you're not following me on Substack, check out my latest blog, angiecard.substack.com. It's a perspective on globalism and nationalism. And, the perspective, may be interesting to some, because I really talk about how I really do believe that, when I look at globalism versus nationalism, I look at, the globalists as the demons that have complete fealty to Satan. These are the demons because mind you, I think the illusion that people like to, have is that, demons are they work in legions and all this stuff. No, I mean, they're probably just as divided as people on earth. Even we're all made in God's image, right? But, to think that demons are just this united brotherhood would be absurd, right? And it is very reasonable. And if you read Daniel chapter 6, where we, read of the angel, apologizing to Daniel because he was held captive by the prince of Persia, right? And when you really dig into that scripture and you start to really understand what that scripture is saying, he was held captive by the demon of Persia, right? And because, we know that a lot of these nations, even Satan and Jesus, when Jesus talked about his fasting and Satan offered him the kingdoms of the world, we know this world is lying in the power of Satan, right? But what we don't really kind of think about is those in-betweens, that there are nations that are run and influenced primarily by demons. And a lot of those demons, they have just as much free will and thirst for sovereignty as any other creature or being that may thirst for those things. And so a lot of these demons are saying, no, we don't want to be under complete one rule order under Satan. We want to be able to influence our nations with our apostate churches and have our feel and our patriotism to us, right? The symbolism of us right? So, so it's very reasonable that, a lot of these wars that we see being played out among men, this is really wars being played out between Satan and his demons. And ultimately, there's going to be a bigger spiritual battle that we read about as Armageddon. So, I think that, if you are somebody who's interested in biblical principles and how they relate to the world that we live in, check out my new Substack article, A Perspective on Globalism versus Nationalism, Satan versus Rebellious Demons. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about that. On to the next topic. Cardi B, it has been just getting it all kinds of ways, And here's the thing: I don't feel bad for people. Sometimes I feel bad for people that have sold themselves to Satan's order and his world, and then sometimes I don't, because we all have free will, free choice, and if you're somebody who claims to know God and you believe in God, then you understand what it means to live by his principles and his standards, and you wouldn't be promoting things that he hates. Cardi B is, to me, no matter how sweet and nice she looks, right? She's a satanic op and an influencer of bad behaviors. And she's not somebody that I can just look at with respect. I don't care how much money the woman makes. It's who we choose to be 360 that matters, to the quality of person that we are. And I just think that some of these people are really showing their colors. They're showing kind of what they're there for. And so recently there was a video surfacing of supposedly Kanye West talking about a couple of people in the industry and in the record industry, and specifically Atlantic Records and Cardi B. And he basically alluded to the fact that she was, quote, Illuminati, and that she was an industry plant to get rid of, Nicki Minaj. Now, I've seen videos on YouTube, is she CIA? Because he was correlating, a lot of these record labels, which, a lot of people, it has been substantiated that the FBI and the CIA is heavily involved in almost any company in this nation. They just are. And so, and they are, people who, they pay Hollywood to project BS to us as well, to get emotional appeals and to, sort of solidify the mass indoctrination that they've been sort of promoting for decades and decades and generations and generations. But he said that she's an industry plant, and a lot of people think, oh, is she CIA? And it's like, I really think what it is exactly what I was talking about before. Cardi B was an artist. I would say, you have your starving artists who really want to make it. They really want fame, right? They'll do anything for fame. There are people who do anything for fame. And in the age of social media, the more, drastic and sensational you are, the more famous you can become relatively quickly. And, you see this with your Sukianas, you see this with your Sexy Reds, you see it with almost any sensational artist that is not a real good artist at all, right? But they're being heavily promoted and funded because they're sensational, and they promote behaviors and mindsets that are outright satanic, and they are anti-God. And so, excuse me. I say that to say that, I think that Cardi B is not a plant like people think she is. I think that Cardi B is a plant in regards to, they knew that she was open to do all kinds of things to promote her career, and they leveraged it. It's just like Doja Cat, too. It's like Doja is talented, don't get me wrong, but Doja went from one extreme to another real quick, and that other extreme was just, promoted crazy, to as that little satanic scarlet thing, and it's not working out for her, I want to see everybody do well, but when you lose your organic self and you start selling out to satanic things, you lose your art, you lose yourself, and it doesn't become fun anymore. And you see a lot of these artists, they don't look like they're having fun with their careers anymore. You know, a lot of these people look miserable. They're always feeling attacked. That's because you invited the demons into your life to make it better, and they're going to promote you and give you what you want. But it's like that movie Hellraiser. You're going to get shit for it. You're going to get shit for it. So, anyways, what's else in my Twitter feeds? You know, I'm still restricted from LinkedIn. So, you know, I kind of talk off my Twitter feeds. Let me move this over here. Let's see. Let me look really quickly. Move this way. Definitely follow me on Twitter, AndrewC313. I give my social, political, spiritual perspectives. I get attacked a lot by, you know, and this is not being anti-Semitic because I don't think all Jewish guys are bad, but I get attacked personally by a lot of Jewish guys. And I don't like that. You know, I've always gotten along with Jewish people, but it's these attacks that some of these guys, and I say some because it's not all of them, it just seems like they are invested in me being some ignorant person who don't know what I'm talking about, that they can tongue twist and dance all around. Let me tell you, I dated a guy who was from Ukraine, and he was Jewish, or he is Jewish, and he lives in Israel now. And, you know, one of the things he taught me is that he was like, you know, let me show you how, I guess there's an argument style of certain Jewish people. I won't say all, because I don't want to generalize people. I'm trying to be very careful about that. But I peep it all the time, and it's usually just this deflection. Then it's this, you know, I want to be intellectually supreme, and when I can't pull that off, I just go to insulting you. And it's just like such an interesting thing, because these are the people who would be, you know, trying to convince me that they are absolutely smarter than me. And some of them are just not. So let me stop talking, because that's what I do all day. And by the end of the day, I'm just like, I need to rest my voice, and I need to rest my body. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. It's 9:00. And I'm sorry, when you get over 40, if you're not like striving after the nightlife for your whole damn life, it's like you value your sleep. And so I value my sleep. So I am going to be going to bed soon, but I'm going to get some writing done too. I'm trying to do some small little ebooks. So I got some projects in the brew. Have a good one. Bye.